Welcome to the Worth Listening podcast, where we focus on having positive and productive conversations around money. I'm your host, Lauryn, a 4-time Olympian and certified financial planner. On this show, my guests share their money stories. Everyone has a unique story and experiences both wins and losses when it comes to money. My intent is to give listeners something they can relate to, something that builds their courage to be open and take control of their own money story. When I'm not creating a great show for my listeners, I'm running my company, Worth Winning, where I help individuals and families organize their finances. Check us out at worth-winning.com. All right, now on with the show. Merry Christmas, everybody. It has been a wonderful 2018. I hope you're enjoying your day. I hope you have opened lots of gifts. I actually hope that listenership is a little bit low today because everybody's so busy hanging out with family. But maybe you're listening to this the day after Christmas or the day after that or the day after that. Either way, I'm happy that you're listening to the last episode in 2018 of the Worth Listening podcast. This has been a wonderful year. I've learned a lot about podcasting. I've also learned a lot about interviewing. I had no idea at the beginning of the year that I would take on as much as I did, that I would get it all nailed down, pull it all off. The original goal was to do a podcast every other week in 2018. Instead, somehow I convinced myself to do a podcast every week. When you're new to podcasting, don't bite off more than you can chew. I did. I definitely did. But I bit it off. I chewed it. I swallowed it. We made it through 52 episodes. People are really enjoying the podcast. I've heard a lot of great feedback. I believe that we are changing lives, and I'm so excited to be bringing this content to each and every one of you. But what's going to happen next year? I am going to bi-weekly. Why? Because I know I bit off way more than I could chew this year. I enjoy doing this podcast, but my time is limited. It's really been great. I've interviewed some great people. I've learned a lot from each of the people that I've interviewed. I've learned a lot about myself. I've come out of my shell a little bit. I think that doing a podcast on a weekly basis has made me more articulate. It's made me think a lot more about being thoughtful when I'm speaking to someone, being present, and also really engaging in a conversation. So this has grown me, stretched me, and said I've learned a lot about each of the different people that I interviewed and money mindsets and money behavior. And it's given me some really great ideas for how to best serve my clients in 2019. It helped me grow as a financial planner. And that made recording 52 episodes worth it. There is nothing more important to me than being able to help people organize their finances and being able to change their lives because they're financially organized. I found financial planning roughly 6 years ago. And when I found good financial planning 6 years ago, I didn't want to turn back. So let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen next year. We're going to have shorter episodes because you people are busy. An hour is a really long time. And as I try to get more efficient in my ability to interview and be able to pull information out of people and have them tell their stories, I think that we can do it in a more efficient manner. So let's go to shorter episodes. The goal is going to be 15 to 20 minutes. So you can get the whole episode in on your commute to work, move on, maybe even pack in 2 episodes if you have a long commute. But we're going to shorter episodes. However, we're still going to be bringing you action-packed money memoirs from everyday millennials. This podcast is about helping you understand why it is important to be discussing money, why it's important to be open about what's going on in your finances, why it's important to shed the shame around talking about your finances, whether you made a mistake, whether it's because someone told you to be private. This podcast is made to help you feel comfortable having money discussions. And there's no better way to do that than to hear other millennials sharing their money story in the most open and honest way. The new twist will be I will also be telling my money memoir in 2019. We'll alternate episodes with a guest and then an episode with me sharing my money memoir or a part of my money memoir, along with whatever other commentary I so choose, because It's my podcast. I can do what I want to do. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be singing. You're right. Don't cut it off. Don't cut it off. I'm not done yet, but I'm almost done. The end of the year is all about setting goals. We're all thinking about what we want to do differently or better in 2019. And so, with that, I'd like to share some of my goals with you all. I am super passionate about money discussions. We've talked about it. That's what this podcast is about. And I think it's very valuable for others to be focusing on having discussions. What I'm going to do in 2019 is focus on mobilizing people around having money discussions with those that are close to them. So not just this podcast anymore, but I'm taking it next level. I've created a program that's called Friends Don't Let Friends Have Effed Up Finances. Yes, that is the name of the program. I think you might have heard it on a few other episodes. I've been pumping it up because I am pumped about it. It's called Friends Don't Let Friends Have Effed Up Finances. The premise behind that service offering is that we have friends and we may be doing our best to get our finances in order. But if we're not having these money discussions, how do we know that our friends are doing what they need to do to get their finances in order? If every year you guys go on a trip and you're paying cash for that trip, but your close friend is charging that trip, eventually something is going to happen and things are going to fall apart. And they're no longer going to be able to afford that. They will have dug themselves a hole of debt. And that's not good for anyone. You don't want to see your friend fail. You want what's best for them. These are the people you care about. So if you're doing the right things with your finances and your friend's not doing the right thing, you should be coming alongside them to say, hey, girl, this is what I'm doing with my money. Or, hey, dude, this is what I'm doing with my money. This is the strategy that I'm using. This is what helped me. This is the person that I hired and it went well for. We want to continue to lift the people close to us up. We want to lift ourselves up. We want people to come alongside us as we try to get our finances organized. So friends don't let friends have effed up finances. And we should all be working together, talking about it. And that's why you can either do a staycation or a vacation, whichever you prefer. Get your friends together, whether it's 3 or 4 couples, 5 or 6 of your girls, 5 or 6 of your boys. And let's have a good time, but let's also get our finances organized. Let's leave with an action plan of what you need to do to take yourself to the next level. Let's leave being more open and honest with one another about how we can hold each other accountable to taking our finances to the next level, and then implement it. Call your friend and say, hey, Lauryn said you were supposed to be making double time payments on your student loans so you can be done with them this year. Did you do that? Or, hey, you want to stay in tonight because I know you're balling on a budget right now. I don't want to spend $12 on a drink. Let's just get a $12 bottle of wine in and share, and it'll be a lot cheaper than us hanging out outside. We've got to be intentional about lifting each other up as it pertains to their finances. So if you're interested, go to worth-winning.com, check it out. If you're not interested in hiring anyone, that's fine. But make the commitment this year in 2019 to talk to someone you care about their financial situation and to share your financial situation. The best way to get help is to first start by discussing what you may need help with. While Friends Don't Let Friends is going to be a main focus of mine in 2019, I will still continue to take individual clients. One thing I've bumped into this year is people being priced out of getting help. And I really don't believe that someone who is actually reaching out for help should be priced out of financial planning. Financial planning is valuable for everyone, and it should be priced so that everyone can get some sort of help. So I'll also be working on an online course for recent college grads and automating some of the financial foundations process. This is going to make it more affordable for those that are looking to get their finances organized, but aren't quite where they can afford full one-on-one or a vacation or a staycation. There will be an online course for recent college grads to be able to turn to so that they can get started on the right track. Now let's switch over to personal a little. From a personal standpoint, I'd like to be more intentional about how I travel. I spent a lot of time on the road in 2018 with low yield results for some of the travel that I did. This year, I'm going to be more protective of my time and actually travel more for pleasure rather than business. That is my personal goal. I love being on the road, but I don't like just being busy. And I found myself to be busy for the sake of being busy versus busy in a way that was going to be productive for me to reach the goals that I set. So that's what I want to do better personally in 2019. I hope you guys have your goals. I'd love if you share them with me. If you want to, podcast at worth-listening.com. Please do share your New Year's goals. I don't like resolutions. To me, resolutions are resolving to do something verbally that you have no action plan behind. Instead, I think we should be setting goals and writing those goals down, making them real with real parameters around how we're going to reach those goals. Not my goal is to lose weight. My goal is to lose weight, and I'm going to do that by setting a time frame. Working out every morning from 6 to 7. I am going to do that by eating less food. I'm going to do that by avoiding specifically fast food. You start to put more specifications around a goal, and that's when it becomes real. And when you write it down and make it real, it makes it a lot more achievable. So let's ditch the New Year's resolutions. Let's go with some 2019 goals. Let's make them happen. I'll let you guys get back to your post-Christmas celebrations and your pre-New Year preparations. I wish you all the best in 2019. I can't wait to bring you fresh new material to share my money memoir and to continue to bring you guests that are ready to share their money memoir. As always, if you need help with your finances, go to worth-winning.com. If you'd love to be a guest on this show, worth-listening.com. If you have suggestions for guests, things you want to hear in the podcast, suggestions about the format, or the information that you want to receive by continuing to listen, I am open for that. Please do send it over. Podcast at worth-listening.com. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and I'll see you guys in 2019.